All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the IN8 Summit podcast. Eddie, thank you so much for being here, or Edwina, I should say, formerly known as Eddie. Thanks for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Dude, well, you're such a legend. I spent a fair bit of time with you, and we speak about many things: chiropractic, non-chiropractic, IN8 Summit, students, and you name it. So, tell us a bit about some of our guys that don't know who you are. Tell us a bit about who you are and where you practice, and a bit of your backstory, because I know how much of a legend you are, but these guys might not know who you are.
Oh, you're sweet. Been practicing a little while. I have a beautiful practice, Evolve Chiropractic, in Currumbin on the Gold Coast in Queensland. Sam and I first met going to these really epic vitalistic seminars that are held in Spain every year called Chiro Europe. So that's when I first connected with Sam and Gab. And we've shared many long lunches talking about, chiropractic and the things that we love. And so when I came back to Australia, one of my favourite things about coming back has being able to go to the IN8 Summit every year.
Nice. And on that, that's where I suppose where we were having a chat about 2 weeks ago, and you were just telling me your experience of the IN8 Summit. And I suppose that's where this thing was sparked from. Is yes, we spent a lot of time in Chiro Europe. I think I went to 9 Chiro Europes in 5 years. And we just wanted to kind of build that same foundation, that same tribe back in Australia. And it's definitely now happening, and we're pretty happy with that. So you said you've been to every one. Is that correct?
I've been to every IN8 Summit since I came back. So every year since 2016, when I moved back from London to Australia, I've been. So I think you may have started the year before, but I've been every year from 2016 onwards. Yeah.
So you were pretty much in Chiro Europe at the grassroots version of this.
Yeah.
And then you missed the Latrobe one, which was that kind of full-on toe in the water version of the IN8 Summit. But in every other year, the mantras and everywhere else, and also virtually. So first of all, thanks for doing all that for us. And I'm keen to pick your brains about that, because obviously we run it, Gabby and I, and we try and get the speakers in, and we've heard some fantastic things post the event and how much people love it. But I'd love to kind of know, why do you come every year?
Oh, the first year that I went to Chiro Europe, and I felt the same way about the IN8 Summit when I immediately just decided that it was going to become a fixed reoccurrence in my calendar every year. And the reason for that is you kind of learn to know the philosophy and the art and the science of chiropractic. But what the IN8 Summit is really good at is it gets the feeling of all of that to come back. So you can really, really just feel the love, and it just amplifies everything else you're doing in practice and reminds you of why you fell in love with chiropractic in the first place.
Yeah, that's so true. Also hanging out with like-minded people, as you said, and you just kind of, it's more of a feeling rather than actually the educational content, which I think we've both spoken about before as well. And so from that, you mentioned to me a little while ago about teams and bringing your teams along, and I suppose your experience in that last year. Can you just elaborate more on that as well?
Yeah, have you ever been to something really transformative or uplifting, and you're vibrating up here, and then you kind of come back home or come to the office on the Monday, and everyone else hasn't been doing something as sort of high vibration as that, or maybe they even had a really crappy weekend or whatever, and you come back and you're full of all the good stuff, and they're vibrating down here, and it can kind of affect that momentum that you create. And also, I always come back with all these ideas about what I'd really love to do. And if your staff members haven't been through that same weekend that you have, maybe they're not as keen to do it as you are. So it can really sort of dampen down the effect of something like the IN8 Summit. And I took my first CA with me last year, and it really cemented our relationship personally, because she had such a great time. But also, for the first time, instead of her just kind of learning how I liked things to be done, she could really understand why I wanted things done a certain way. And so after that, our focus in the practice was really sort of laser focus, and the practice really accelerated after that. And we had more fun as well.
Wow, that's awesome. So double click on that. What's kind of cool is what I heard from that is you've almost getting a chance to have a third party energy / person / group of people to show a CA about how awesome this thing is, rather than you telling them and kind of preaching to them. Actually getting someone else or a group of other people to kind of be inspired by the same thing can obviously add huge value to a team's experience.
Yeah, because we are learning about the philosophy and principles of chiropractic as sort of part of my onboarding process in the practice. But just, I mean, and it was just a virtual seminar as well, but even virtually, the energy was strong enough to sort of really create that sort of feeling of love and understanding. And so like even virtually, it was fantastic. So after that experience, I decided that no matter how big my team was or how small, I was going to really make it an essential training weekend. We're all going to go away to the IN8 Summit, and my partner was going to come every year as well.
Nice. That was going to be my next question, so I'll leave that one for a moment. But that's so cool, and I love that. I mean, even I must admit, with me and my team, whenever we actually go through our hiring process, we actually say the non-negotiable is the dates, the 1st and the 2nd of October this year. And then in the past, it's been whatever date it was. Before they say yes, we just say, are you available on this date? And if you'd work here, you must be there for that exact same reason. And that thing about, like, I'm, as you may or may not know, we're as crazy as a cut snake, me and Gabby, and we do some pretty crazy things with 5 children and the IN8 Summit and everything else. And as you're kind of in that same, unfortunately, that same kettle of fish, because you're pretty crazy in all things that you do. A big part, I suppose, of the IN8 Summit and what we can look forward to is having the teams involved. And where this year we're definitely focusing heavily on the energy, bringing the vibe, first time live in 3 years, basically. And we're actually going to have a real focused CA program. So can you maybe elaborate on what you would love to see? Because we're always about surveying our audiences and our attendees. What would you love to see from a boss, but also as a friend of your CAs? What would you love them to kind of get experience from the CA session this year?
Well, the thing that my CA definitely got the most benefit from last year, she did really enjoy the CA program, but the thing she got the most benefit from was listening to all the speakers talk about their principles and their philosophy and what they believed, you know, about chiropractic and people's health. And that really, really deepened her understanding of what it was that I wanted to achieve in the practice as well. And so it was those sessions that created the most change for her, I think, as well. And she did enjoy listening to other CAs, but also really enjoyed listening to some of the big chiropractic speakers. And I know that my CAs this year are absolutely going to love it because I've seen a little bit of the lineup. I know they'll have a really good time.
The lineup's going to be released. My mate Lozzie here, for those of watching this podcast, we're in a kind of pretty funky, every year we try and go that next level. And I must admit, I like to talk, but like I can hear myself internally, like this whole like earphone thing, I'm like next level. And so this year, Lozzie's got the whole lineup ready to go. She's our new IN8 Summit Rockstar, and you should get access to most of the speakers. We're waiting for 2 more to confirm, but I might drop some bombshells towards the end of this podcast to kind of explain who's definitely coming. And yeah, so thank you for that. So this year, in regards to hearing the philosophy and having the content and having a chance to have a networking event with the CAs, is there one thing you can tell me that you think you might like your CAs to learn in the CA session? I know what you want as a chiropractor, but in the CA session, what do you reckon? Well, that's a bit of a curveball question.
Oh, right. One particular thing, don't want to think too hard about this, just like those real, like, pure conversations about what the philosophy and principles of chiropractic are, because really that's the foundation for everything that we do in the practice. All our practice values and our procedures and our systems all actually grow from that. So I think if they can just be really dipped and immersed in that with enthusiasm over the weekend, that would make me super happy.
Oh, that's easy done. I love that.
That's the easiest part.
Well, the cool thing about this is, so those of you that don't know Edwina, she's just got a beautiful soul and an amazing human being, an amazing practice in the Gold Coast. And yes, she went to Macquarie University. I went to RMIT University, and we both know that those schools are amazingly good at teaching some things, but really bad at giving the philosophy. And one of Eddie's big passions right now is helping a lot of the students get inspired by this thing called chiropractic or the philosophy. And so you're heavily involved with the Wonder Nights program as well. Can you maybe just elaborate a bit on that as well, Eddie?
A few years ago now, someone sort of gave us some statistics about the dropout rate of chiropractors through university, but also their first year of practice. And it made me reflect that since I've been practicing, 7 people I've known closely, sort of practice members, friends, and even a family member, had gone to study chiropractic. And out of those 7 people, only 2 of them are practicing now, which I think is really sad. And when we were sort of chatting and we were thinking, you know, what was sort of lacking? Why did they drop out? you know, the universities are so good at teaching us all the science that we need to know and how to be safe and great adjusters and so forth. But the amount of effort you have to put into sort of finishing chiro school and then starting to practice, you can kind of forget a little bit about why you love it so much.
Definitely.
And I just think doing things deliberately to keep the love alive and keeping that enthusiasm kindled in a really nurturing kind of way for students is really important. So that's why we started the idea of the Wonder Nights, where we wanted to just give students a chance to network with chiropractors who are really loving, you know, their practice life, get some help with adjusting, have a lot of fun, and listen to some philosophy as well.
Beautiful. And so my understanding is that there's one in every state. So every state where there's a school. So there was a Macquarie, Murdoch, RMIT, ACC, and even CQU. And I know that the CQU is your baby, right? Pretty much. We didn't even know there was a school there. And then you were like, no, I want this school to be up and running. And now it's kicking butt for what I can understand.
Yeah, they're amazing, the students there. So enthusiastic about learning to be great adjusters.
And so can you summarize, what is the process of the Wonder Nights? How does it actually work?
So we aimed to do sort of 6 events every year for every state that we're in. So we like to have a big kind of party almost called the Wonder Nights, where we have some really great chiropractors come speak to the students about what they loved, some of their great experiences that they've had in practice as well. And also some things that they wish that they'd really known when they were a student or a new graduate. And then for every Wonder Night that we have, so we also take them out to dinner and get them drinks. We just want to show them a really good time and show them some love. And then for every Wonder Night that we do 3 adjusting nights afterwards, where again, we host it at someone's practice. We show them some really cool stuff that may not be exactly what they've learned in university. We take them to dinner and just really try to sort of throw lots of love on them and teach them about chiropractic.
And what's the catch? It sounds too good to be true.
No catch.
No catch. Yeah. Love that. And that's kind of where I think I'm part of the same thing as well. So I love the fact that you've kind of pretty much grabbed the bull by the horns and you're kind of loving on the students, seeing how much they get out of it. But the funny thing is a lot of the students are a bit like, what do you mean? Why are you doing this for us? But the truth is that when you get so much from chiropractic and being able to adjust people, get paid a great wage and a salary, as well as that kind of tap into the innate intelligence of everybody every day, you just want to give back. So I think a lot of chiros see that and a lot of students can't see the fact that chiros out there want to help students through that. So well done for the Wonder Nights program, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about that. So all the students coming this year to the IN8 Summit, it's like a big ass version of the Wonder Nights. We've got 2 days, drinks, partying, and over 3 or 4, probably 400 or 500 chiros and students going to be at the IN8 Summit this year. Last thing, Eddie, I might kind of finish up with you is, so obviously Dave's coming, your partner. You said the first time he's coming this year. Why the hell would you bring, what's that?
So exciting.
Why the hell would you bring a carpenter or a chippy? He's a chippy, isn't he?
No, he's an engineer.
Oh, shit, I knew that. Sorry. I knew he was in the engineering game. Sorry, my bad. Why the hell would you bring an engineer to the IN8 Summit?
Well, I always think that really the principles of chiropractic are sort of universal principles, so it does everybody good to hear them. But also, you know, he is my business partner as well, but he doesn't get immersed in chiropractic day to day because he has another job. And it's really great to also show him the foundations of what we've built and let him feel some of the love and sort of bring him into the practice and the business that we have together a little bit more. And I'm hoping it'll also help him understand some of my crazy ways and why I might be so particular about certain things and certain words and doing things certain ways.
Love that. And also, I'm obviously married to a chiropractor, but I do know a lot of chiropractors, whether male or female, their spouses usually don't realize that most chiropractors are actually married to chiropractic first. And so, you know, the amount of money you spend on seminars, the amount of money you spend on personal development and traveling, and even on your holidays, you want to go and hang out with more chiropractors. So that can be quite hard for a lot of spouses. So if he comes in and sees how crazy we all are, he might actually like us a little bit. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to introducing him to all of my friends that are really like my family as well. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, that's awesome, Eddie. I'm going to say one last thing before we finish up. Thank you so much for being here. But also this year, some of the big names, I haven't dropped them all, but I've just confirmed as of this morning, it's whatever day it is today, it's 4:30 in the morning. I was on the phone to America, and I can definitely confirm that my dear friend and colleague, Brad Glowacki, is definitely coming out this year. He's going to be here for the whole weekend and probably going to do at least 2 sessions with us. So that's one of the big names I'll drop now on this podcast. But tell me, what are some of the things that you're most looking forward to this year, 2022, for you, your team, or like, I'm not sure what you can tell us, but what are you most excited about for this year's IN8 Summit?
I am really looking forward to seeing Brad live in person again. He always brings so much energy and he's such a fantastic communicator. And I'm a systems kind of person. I like to have everything really organised. So I really admire someone who does that well. And I think he does that fantastically. And am I allowed to drop other names?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I believe Vismai might be speaking in some way. Is that right?
Vismai is definitely speaking. He's coming all the way from Singapore. So we're getting all of our internationals that have been desperately keen to travel. So a few more internationals will drop. I'm not going to give you any more on this podcast, but yes, Vismai is definitely speaking in person this year.
Yeah, he has such beautiful energy and I really love his approach to nurturing and growing his practice. So I'm looking forward to hearing him speak live again as well.
Yeah, and I'm not going to I'm actually podcasting him soon as well. But those that don't know Vismai, like, just to put this number in your head, his PVA is over 2,000. Like,
it's incredible.
It's next level. I don't think there's anyone in the world that's got that. So I think that's why he's managed to be such a great communicator. And so you're right, he's going to be a huge asset for us, as you are with your energy and your wonderful staff. So, your team members. Eddie, thank you so much for being on our podcast, and thank you so much for always showing up and looking after us and the team and being involved with the IN8 Summit. We love you to bits. And anything final words you want to say before we finish up?
I just can't wait to see you all at the IN8 Summit.
Eddie, you're just too lovely. All right, thanks again. And we'll see you hopefully in a few weeks or months, actually.
Great.